Welcome back to the Final K, the official podcast of Flamme Rouge Racing, where tactics, tech, and tenacity all come together. I'm your host, Nathan Krake, and I'm joined by FRR Race Control himself, Mr. Rich Vale. This is episode 3, and we've got some great things coming up. In this episode, we're going to look at Tour Britannia rolling out on November 8th. We check out Team Fearless 9th Annual Women's Team Championships. We talk Super 6 racing and round 1 almost finishing up, and Triquetra Grand Tour returns. So clip in and let's get into it.
Still not getting that sound going.
Rich Vale, how are you? How's it going? Welcome back to episode 3.
Oh, not too bad, thanks, Nathan. Yeah, one of these days we'll get that sound to work at the start. But
everyone else can hear it. That's all that matters.
Oh, that's okay. Then I'm just deaf anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Nathan. It's as we know, it's been a bit of a hectic month. But we're off and running. It's
been a fantastically big month.
I'm still sane as well.
Lots of things on. Well, I was just asking before the show, like, how are you coping? How are you holding up?
Well, not too bad. I think, as I said before the show, it was a tough first week. There was a lot going on. There's a lot going on to get to that first race there in the format that we put it out, with the production going through, getting things styled. Getting everything in as right a place as we can get.
Yeah.
So I think there was on the back of just finishing Tour France as well. There was an awful lot going on, and I think I was starting to look down the barrel. I'm thinking, wow, we're starting this in October the 10th, and this will run to mid-March.
Yeah.
I'm used to doing a tour and having 3 to 4 weeks off of taunting people. But there was no such look on that one. So I was probably feeling quite nervous a little bit, really, of my own time and effort, and not wanting to let people down in any way, shape, or form. Certainly set a high standard for what we want to do.
Yeah.
So first week harsh, but I'm pleased to say that really beyond a little bit of a database hiccup, but we won't talk about that too much. That a lot of it really is just plate spinning. I've tried to build stuff though, so it can just take a little bit of a tweak each week. And it's repeatable and without massive changing stuff. And that's the key thing at the day, is that we've done stuff to enable that. So at the moment, I'll touch some wood. Where's some wood? There we go. I'm still sane, and even if many people think I'm insane, so I'm good, thank you, Nathan. How's yourself? Anyway, I heard you had a bit of a back issue.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So for those that love doing deadlifts at the gym, I did my back in. Which was really unfortunate because we had just finished up the Amy Gillett Grand Fondo here in southern Victoria, which is like the 4th hardest single day open ride you can do. And so we knocked that out and had lots of fun doing that. And then I came back and I was taking a few days off, and then got back to the gym and did some deadlifting and crunch. Like, have you ever felt like when you're doing something and you don't hear the crunch, you feel the crunch? And that's exactly what I felt in my lower back. So
tell me a bit about that Grand Fondo, though. What was that? When you say it's the 4th hardest one day, is it sort of Milan-San Remo type sort of style?
Well, it's 121 kilometers, and there's about 1,800 meters of elevation. Okay. So it's a closed road event. It's the Amy Gillett Grand Fondo. Now, unfortunately, the namesake of the event. Amy Gillett was a fantastic cyclist, and unfortunately, there was a very tragic accident while she was training over in Germany quite some time ago. And as a result of that, she's no longer with us. And so this all came about in an effort to promote cycling awareness, cycling safety on our roads. And so this is like the 13th Amy Gillett Grand Fondo that they've held.
Wow.
And
Okay.
of course, it dovetails on after the UCI race that they hold that morning for
Right.
UCI qualification. So it's a significant event, and there are lots of very, very talented, very strong racers that get out early to do the UCI stuff. And then the rest of the days open up to, guys like me who turn up and get out there and hammer it out. Now, I had one of my mates from ASGR join us from Adelaide, so he made the trek over with his family. We had 3 groups of us all come together for the weekend. We got out in the roads. It's a closed road event, so it's really quite enjoyable. There's no stress about cars. There's no hassles, but there are cutoff times. You do have to make certain checkpoints at certain times, and if you don't make that time, you get stuck into the sag wagon, and that's it for you. But no, we had a fantastic day. We knocked it out in about 4.5 hours, which is really good. Now, I've not done this for like 10 years or 9 years. So having done it 9 years ago, I think back in 2016, I did it this year in about nearly half an hour faster than I did it at that time. So happy with the result. Not so much happy with the back issues, but I also did, on a separate, completely side note, which I'm quite happy about as well, I did a fast challenge this weekend where I didn't eat food for 42 hours in an attempt to understand how that might help me out. And I got a news flash. It didn't do anything. I didn't feel anything. I just didn't eat for 40 hours. So
okay, does that mean you can now put a lower weight in as well on Zwift,
well,
and so you can cane the climbs?
I lost almost 4 kilos doing it.
Oh.
But that was it. So anyone wants to know about fasting, let me know. But yeah, I didn't really get any. I didn't notice any benefits anyway. I'm sure that there were benefits happening. But anyway, that aside, so yeah, it was a fun weekend. Back on the bike, the back is reasonably fixed. Back on the bike, going to get back into it. I missed Friday's Super 6, but I did get a chance to DS the team and help them get a pretty good result. And I'm looking forward to, which we'll talk about. Yeah, we did win.
1 point. 1 point.
1 point.
Your team won by 1 point.
I'm surprised WMZ we're happy about that. Wow. And so and so we had a great time. The guys did really well, and we're looking forward to the race number 5, which will conclude round 1 of the Super 6 Racing Series. But we'll talk a bit more about that as we go. Yeah. I did want to ask really quickly. So, how did the France Tour end up?
How did it end up? I mean, it was good. I mean, it was a flat rolling course in the day. As we said, we were going to do a very different tours each time to give riders different opportunities, yeah, it certainly did. I mean, there's a lot of normal winners out there, I think, at the end of the day. But it was actually a good, we had probably out of the 20 GCs, 15 of them went to within 2 minutes, maybe a minute, less than a minute, actually, in some of them. 9 seconds, I think, was the lowest GC winner.
Wow.
In the end.
That's super close.
After 9 hours of riding, something along that, to get it down to that sort of level, just kept people engaged all the way through. And of course, there was no significant hills to cause any of those breaks. So the TTs really came into play. We had some fun, I think, with some no hood TTs. That really messed with people's fruit. Although, actually, according to Hayley the other day, made her actually cycle faster because she couldn't see her numbers. And so she just chased people who was in front.
Right, because you would do that, wouldn't you? Like if you weren't watching your power numbers, you've got no sort of sense of, am I going hard enough? Am I going too hard?
I mean, you've got Campagna app, and we'll talk about that a bit later on. But it depends how strict a person you are when you actually do these events. And obviously, many people are. They've got Garmin apps going on here. They're looking at their watts and they're going, okay, I need to maintain this, and that's what I maintain. I'd love to be as sophisticated as that, and maybe I should be, but maybe 25 years ago, 30 years ago, I could probably do that. But but I wasn't even cycling then, so I didn't even own a bike then. So yeah, so the no hood TTs were interesting,
Yeah.
but it was really good. We still had 350, 400 people who finished the entire thing, and yeah, it was enjoyable. So I'd like to say that people will be saying that Britannia will be just as enjoyable, but for different reasons, in a week's time.
Well, yeah, that starts very shortly, and you'll be happy to know I am signing up to do this.
Oh, you're obviously going to like climbing now. You're 4 kilos lighter then.
Well, I think I put all 4 kilos back on last night when I ate dinner, but no, I'm definitely going to get in on this because my Zwifting to date has been lacking a little bit. Last few weeks leading up to the Grand Fondo, I wasn't doing a hell of a lot of Zwifting. This will be my ticket to get back into it and get my routine back again.
Nathan, I'm looking forward to seeing you for 8 days. Yep. 8 stages in 9 days. I'm looking forward to seeing that happen, Nathan. Because I mean, I'm just checking you have actually seen the course that's been set out there, or when you click this is going to be like a voyage of discovery for you, and you're not going to eat these words that you just said.
Oh no, I completely. I've looked at the course very briefly, and just while we're talking, I am going to bring it up again. This is I find it. I have seen in the past what it's like, and I am completely aware that it's going to be brutal. Actually,
here I think. Here we go. Go on. You put the road book up if that's what you're going to throw. Oh no, you're going to throw that one up at me. So, okay, so you have to scroll down. Here we go.
Yep, Britannia there.
Yeah, actually, if you went to the top, actually, you've got the road book at the top. You could open that up. There we go. Click that little button. Let's open that one. Let's open that baby up. And yeah, I think that's. So we've gone for a slightly different format on our roadbook this time, really, just to try and give a bit of a profile. But if you flick through to the last page there, Nathan. So very last one. Look at all those. Oh, look at that beauty.
Look at that one there. 14th, 15th. That's stage 8, the King stage.
No, one more. There we go. If we went and looked at that baby there. So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Yes,
look at that.
Exactly.
London Surrey Hills on the Sunday.
Surrey Hills. So we've actually got a King and Queen stage on this particular one.
Yeah.
We're going to set up. This is obviously a rolling hilly course now at 4,800 meters for the week. That's probably, some people go, that's more mountainous, but of course the hills here are very small. You haven't got 20-minute hills. You haven't got epics, and you haven't got Innsbruck, so you haven't got anything particularly long.
Yep.
But it is regular. Yorkshire's always rolling, and I think Yorkshire always looks like it's a lot more climbing than it really is.
Yeah.
And Surrey Hills is very similar. Its nickname for this one is Oh So Surrey, or Oh So Sorry at the end of the day. So yeah, so we've got a King and Queen stage. We've got double points going on those little things, those 2 stages. We've got a very interesting ITT on the Friday. That will be quite a. Now I know it's Richmond. It's England. It's not really England, is it? Obviously, it's over in the States, but there is a Richmond in the UK, so I'm allowed to use it. That's how I think.
That's a naming convention.
I've got pulled on that a number of times. No, Richmond's not in the UK. I went, well, actually, it is, just not that one. But that'll be quite an interesting ITT. People know what that course looks like.
Yeah.
That's a little bit shark teethy. So yeah, so I think there's lots of interest in that. I think the Glasgow Crit will be quite interesting in the sense of doing 10 laps of that. As the A's will come and lap around people, and it'll just turn into a bit of a washing machine mix. But look, stage 1 on Saturday, nice and simple, one little hill, and away we go. One little hill. So yeah, but I think it is what it is. It is a rolling hilly course.
Yep.
It's quite a punchy course, and it will attract a different set of people.
Yeah, and that's what Britannia is known for as well, which is in the past when I've seen others do it, it's certainly been nothing but up and down courses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And one of the interesting comments I've had this week with the release of like the New York expansion stuff
Hmm.
is, I think you're almost getting enough. It's just like my, my, I don't know, there's a doctor's term for what that looks like. My heart rhythm or something like that. But
Unhealthy. That's what it looks like. It looks unhealthy.
but yeah, there's definitely room now to start considering things like a USA tour.
Mm.
Something I got mentioned
Yeah.
to me the other day with the expansion of New York, which is, if you've not been there yet, I really
So,
do like what they've actually put out there.
so quick side note. I know we'll keep talking about this in a second, but what do you think of the routes that they've released?
Yeah, I mean, having recently been to New York, I've been to New York a couple of times, but I love going over Brooklyn Bridge. I think they've done really well with the graphics on
Yep.
Brooklyn Bridge, and I
Yep.
think the graphics inside it looks a little bit like, it's not really Grand Central Station or going through the tube station in and down. I do think those little escalators do push you up as well. I'm sure
They
they
do.
do.
They do.
And at 20%, when they're going to need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've done really well with it.
Yeah, I've got to say.
It's good. It's the nice clean graphics.
Yep.
There's a dodgy hill. I did Greenways the other day, or today actually, and there's definitely a dodgy hill which says it's 500 meters long or something like that. Oh, come on, you could have given us another. I think they could have given us another bigger hill.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there.
Good point.
Just to
Yeah.
and maybe there is one out there. I just haven't done this other course because I was looking
Yeah.
through and thinking, what the hell is that one?
Yeah.
And then you almost have to go down to New York, so to speak, and go, forget about it. Forget about it. That's a very bad sort of Italian type, New Yorkan type speak. I'm sorry, I'm sure somebody will correct me on that one, but it is a forget about it, isn't it?
It's yeah, I've got to say, like, I'll be the first to admit, like, I've done a couple of them now, like, not fully completed them, but I've had a roll around them, and I've got to say they're pretty good. I mean, I'm liking the graphics,
Yeah.
and they seem interesting. They've seemed to actually start to lean into a bit more of the gameplay with those little, the ramp ups, up the escalators, these sorts of things, and I think that a lot of it's actually quite engaging. So hats off to Zwift for a change.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, also what that's also now given us is more segments to actually be able to do something with. New York always had the problem in and just really only having one sprint and two climbs, or effectively one climb, but from two different ways.
Yeah.
But that was it. It makes it quite hard to actually do an event like we're trying to do in Six, for instance, if you've only ever got
Like three
a
courses to
limited
work
number.
with. Yeah.
Three courses to work with and two segments.
Yeah.
So you can't really do much with that. But they've expanded it and they've done well. I mean, there we go. That's,
I've got to say, it's actually really quite cool.
so
So yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing what you come up with then for a tour USA or something similar.
Exactly. Well, you've got USA, you've obviously got Richmond in there. So, if they can just expand it a little bit more, but then, we can just go somewhere else that's might be. I mean, at the end of the day, there are many UK places that are dual named in the States, as they are in Australia, for instance, as well. So, you're never really limited. If I can play on words like that, I can play on words with anywhere. So
of course.
In fact, I'm pretty sure actually somewhere in the States there's a place called Bologna, but that might be pushing it.
Push a little bit too far. No, just do it anyway.
All right, then I'll just do it anyway. But anyway, yeah. So the tour kicks off next week, the sign-ups are going well, so which is good.
I'll get into that.
The race passes are going to come out midweek.
So if anyone else is thinking about that, I'll put just a quick poll in the chat there. We've got so far 100% of people who are doing it, so that's always a good thing.
That means there's one person on listening, and it says.
Well, I can't vote in the poll, so if I could, there'd be two of us. But I'll definitely be signing up to that one. That's going to be good fun. Now, and then you've also got Fearless coming up with their 9th annual women's team championships.
So second year and again, Fearless did an awful lot to help Six out. I
Yep.
think at the start, when we first did Fearless's event last year, we said to them that we've got an interesting format for you to try, and they were up for it. They were up for something different, and so we first started Six Racing effectively with Fearless last December. We built a whole load of things for Fearless on that side of things. So you could select a team, you could select roles, and just try that out. And it went really well for the ladies from that perspective. And we found things out that, that didn't quite work so well what we thought, which has all fed into Six. We've done things through the summer as well that again fed into it. So really, we've done an awful lot of work to make Six work, even to the way it is. And we'll talk about that, in our next stage. But going to Fearless out here. So, Fearless, they do this once a year. They always do it at this time of year. It's a one race, all areas. I think it's obviously only ladies only, or women only, in these sort of things. Now we've tried to keep this year the administration really simple. We've got a lot of administration in other events, and Christmas time is or certain December time is a busy period for a lot of people. So let's keep the admin really simple. Let's just get people to sign up, and let's get people to jump in a pen, and we'll just take care of what team they're in, because the team will be their club. So we're calling it one team racing. So at the end of the day, if you're part of AHDR, then you just sign up and go, well, actually ZRS will dictate which pen you can go and choose. So we'll set up some ZRS ranges. And if you happen to be an A, then you're going to be in the A ZRS team. If you happen to be B, you'll be in the B, and so forth. But the catch with this one is going to be, as we're saying there, being average wins. So we're going to take average scores. We'll do it by pen. So at the end of the day, HDR's A team, for instance, they can race against everybody else, and their average score. So if you've got 10 riders or 5 riders or 3 riders, your average score is what your score would be for the A team. Same in the B, same in the C, D, and there's 5 pens. So we can do those individually, so you can have 5 sets of winners there, and equally we can do it overall. So we say, okay, what's your overall average score across all of your riders from each of those pens?
That's a really interesting way of doing it, isn't it?
It's just a different, because otherwise, we've got the problem of, well, what happens if I've got more riders turning up, or they'll score more points? Well, okay, they will score more points, but we didn't want to get to the situation where we've got 20 riders turning up and the riders go, oh, well, my scores will never count. Therefore, there's no point in me even trying because my strongest riders will always count. Well, actually, now we want everyone to count. And okay, we'll have a counter argument somewhere of saying, well, if we only enter 3 people, then we'll have a smaller average potential, and therefore, but equally, they could do better. But that's not the message, really, is it? We all just want to go, everyone join, and do the best that you can. So there's no restrictions, there's no minimum. If you've only got 1, then you got to hope that your one score is averagely better than anybody else's in some respects, I suppose. We'd be interested to see whether actually 1 wins it. I don't think it will, but I suppose technically it could. But yeah, something we've spoken about before. You can never really predict what Zwifters will do.
That's it.
So you can set the best thing in the world, you can put the best thing out there, but actually we're global, so we don't know what they're going to do.
That's it. I mean, and then we're going to talk about that in a minute with Super 6 as well, but certainly having a global audience makes it insanely difficult in terms of finding the right times, getting those right schedules sorted so that it accommodates everyone and all their other things that are going on in their lives as well. So it's definitely a challenge, mate. And I've got to say, hats off to you for persisting with it, because I'm sure it has kept you awake at night.
Occasionally, maybe, but I'm not too bad. But you know, it was just the last thing on the Fearless side of things. Obviously, sign-up's going to open tomorrow. We've been previewing a bit. You'll get an email once you've signed up. We've been doing the emails now on the back of any of our registrations. Now, some emails will not get through to people's servers because they get blocked and all that stuff. If you're not getting stuff and you've signed up, then just message us, and I'm sure we can find a way to get you the information. But ultimately, it was something that was a comment as part of Tour France that, you know, new riders coming in, we assume that they read rules and read all the literature that we put out there. And there's an awful, you know, in our world, there's a lot of learning from day one. And so we've actually put now an email on the back of every registration, everything that we do, to say, thanks for joining. Here's 10 things. Here's 5 things that you should know about us, because you're not going to know them unless you go and find them from somewhere. And here's all your support that you're going to get if you need it. And this is where we are. So, yeah, if you don't get those emails, then either check your spam, check your you know, your junk, that sort of space. And if they're still not in there, then just reach out to me. I'm sure I can find something for you.
And they can definitely do that by finding the Discord link in the description below. So that's probably the best spot to go into if you've got any questions about the Britannia Tours coming up, the Fearless Racing Series that's coming up, Super 6 is coming up, and a bit later in the show, we're also going to touch on Triquetra, which returns. But I'm not giving anything away.
No, you're not allowed to.
No.
Not yet, anyway.
Discord link is in the description below. Click on that. If you haven't joined up, go join there. And if you've got any questions, that's the spot to ask it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, just the nasty T word, as the people call it.
Well, I am actually looking forward to that as well, because that is a knock your socks off.
That'll be your winter. That'll be your winter.
Yeah, coming into winter again. So that is a brutal tour. Is it still the same number of events over the same number of days?
We'll touch on that later, I think.
Yes.
It's not called Triquetra for nothing. It doesn't sort of, start people sort of running around looking for excuses. It'll be, it won't be disappointing.
Just want to say, so Jay Holst is in the chat there, and he just wants to let you know, Rich, that your communications have been awesome. So you're definitely on point with getting it out there. And it is difficult because you've got so many different people that have different ways of communicating. Discord, Messenger, WhatsApp, all these different platforms.
I mean, it is hard because a lot of people are on Discord, a lot of people are not on Discord. Email is very hit and miss in the 21st century because of, we're all very aware of junk, directing things to junk, new emails coming in. Some people have got more sophisticated diverting systems to go, just push all that stuff out and I'll never look at it. Others to start even up the email server, so it never even gets that far. So I think from that perspective, email is probably my least favored way of trying to communicate because it just gets blocked out, which is why Discord we use such a lot. And one of the things that we've started to collect now, as people will see with the registering for Britannia, is that we're collecting Discord IDs because we want to improve the Discord communication. I want to stop doing, and again, it was one of the other members had reached out, and I'm sure we will do it at some talk, but just gathering the information. Rather than doing at everyone, and a lot of people will turn that sort of thing off. We want to be a little bit more pointed. So, right, you've signed up for Britannia. We've got a Britannia group, as an example. Therefore, I'm doing at Britannia. So, therefore, I'm instantly hitting the people who are interested in it rather than people who perhaps aren't doing that particular tour this week. And that sort of stuff. So, if we can do that, that's the whole point of gathering the Discord numbers. If people are worried about actually, well, what is my Discord name, and don't fill it in, then just click on your name. It'll open it up, and there's a little green tick somewhere on your Discord profile, and it's just that ID that we that most people will put in. Most people are getting it. One or two don't quite know, but then that's because we get sometimes so much new tech at times we don't quite know what we've signed up to half the time. Well, or is that just me? So we're going to improve that side, so we can be a bit more directed with the communications too. There we go. It's time to wake up, Nathan.
It is, sorry about that.
That's all right. So yeah, it's good that the communicators are getting there, and I do try not to blast too much, but it's one of those things that you can, if you don't do enough, people will go, you're not saying enough. And and if you do too much, then it's sort of it's too much. I've got to turn it off. Yeah. So
I think what you're doing is spot on, and that's a great way of doing it. So Discord is the way to go. You can see on screen there. Link is in the description below.
That's my pumpkin carving as well.
I was just seeing that. That's actually quite good.
Well, thank you.
How long did it take you to do that?
Between the two of them, about 90 minutes.
Wow. Okay. And for those that may be listening to this this podcast, I've got a picture here on screen of a pumpkin that Rich has carved. I've never carved a pumpkin in my life.
Have you never carved a pumpkin? Oh,
no.
Well,
I'm missing out.
Well, yes, you are missing out. You are missing out. I think we went to New York early September, and Halloween stuff was out late August there. Yep. And so a good 2.5 months before Halloween even floated in. Yeah, Americans really love it.
Yeah, they really get off on it, don't they?
They do. So there we go. Anyway, Britannia, let's see there. We've got a 6 race just before, just to warm our legs up.
Yep.
And Fearless is December the 6th. So you can sign up all the way to I suppose 1 minute before racing.
Yeah. And just to add in there as well, to find out the information about Fearless, about Britannia, about Super 6 and the other tours that Rich is going to have coming up, go along to flamerougeracing.com. That's the website you want to go to. If you haven't created an account, you can just go in and create an account. Even if you're not signing up for a particular series or event, just create the account anyway. And that way you get included on the communications and the emails and so forth that come out. And it's also much easier than when you do want to do a series or a tour or an event. You're right there, all ready to go, and you can just go in and get going. That link is also in the description below too. Now, speaking of events, Super 6.
Super 6, indeed. Well, Super 6, I even had to remind my wife. She says, well, who's our 6th member in the first race? Who's our 6th member? Who's our 6th member? I went, there's 5 riders, Hayley.
Yeah.
And the 6 roles. That's the Super 6.
Look, I'll be honest, I've had some people ask me the same question too. So it's that 6th role, the wild card role. That's
the wild card role.
That's the 6th element of the team, isn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. So it is funny that, but it's a lot easier to get 5 riders than it is 6 each week. And equally, Fantastic 5 didn't sound as nice as Super 6.
Super 6.
And it rolls off, and we got a nice logo out of it. So I think maybe I could have got a good one from 5, but we've got Super 6 now. So
I like
yes,
6.
yeah, it's gone well. I think.
So give us a recap of round 1 so far. We've got 1 race left in round 1.
Yeah.
What's the recap of round 1 been like?
So we set it off really in the 3 spaces. US West, I think in the day couldn't get enough teams interested in their sort of time.
Yep.
And we've touched on that a number of times on. I think Friday is the sticking point, and so we're looking at that. But APAC started out again. I think Friday is a thinner time for APAC too.
Yep.
Similar sort of thing with US East, thinner time for them, but US East has got a few more riders in there.
Yep.
Europe, on the other hand, has really shown.
They've really come into this.
They've really come into it. Yeah, they've really come into it. You've got 250 to nearly 300 riders, competing in that sort of space. regularly race 1, 2, 3, 4, and we should be 5 this week.
Yep.
So they've shown actually at this point in time what that blueprint can really do if people are going to engage and the time works for them. It's always about, does the time work? Does the day work? And those sort of things. And that's the key thing in getting right in the other areas. The other areas are helping, they're consisting, they're contributing. And, you know, we desperately want to give them the same experience that Europe's getting. So, you know, the racing's been really good. The feedback from the people who've been involved with the racing has been, you know, this is really great racing, gives us something different to think about, something different to plan. It's not just turn up and the same person wins every week. We've all got to do our bit for the team. So I think, you know, as a racing format, it's landed really well in the sense of the racing's good. Numbers are good in Europe. We've just got to build it in the other places. And, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. So
it takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've been in some of the races out there, and even with small numbers in races, they become competitive. You've got 1 or 2 oppositions in there, then it becomes competitive. And if we, you know, and by throwing little things into it, like the wild card thing, people have got the idea that, wow, okay, I can affect other people's wild cards, and that's the whole point. It just gives races something different to aim for in the race that can contribute to the actual overall team performance. So
absolutely. Well, I can tell you that the general feedback, the communication I've had, not only with our team, but with other people I've been chatting to in different Discord servers and so forth, has been overwhelmingly positive. Like the people that are involved in it think it's just fantastic. Those that do want to get involved in it are really interested in the format. And so for those that might be new to Super 6 and just sort of hearing about this now for the first time, each team has 5 riders. There's a GC. There are 2 sprinters and 2 climbers. The sprinters can only get points on the sprint segments. The climbers can only get points on the com segments. The com segments. And the GC is, their goal is to try and finish as high up as they can in comparison to the other GCs in the tour or in the series, and they all get points for doing so. And of course, the wild card that Rich was talking about is a specific challenge for each race, and it's not the same challenge either. It's different challenges for each of the different races. And again, you've got to factor that in. Now, the thing that we're loving about it is the communication side of it, like that whole having to work together to support your GC, to support the sprinters or support the climbers, is really what's fantastic about it. And it's so, I believe, to be so much better than other racing series that are on at the moment, which I won't go into. But that whole, you know, scattergun approach where those other racing series is that everyone goes after everything. This is much more, there's a lot more finesse and there's a lot more tactics and a lot more strategy involved in this racing than in the others. And that's, I think, is going to be just the hands down best part of it. So if you haven't done yourself a favor, go along to flammerougeracing.com. The information about Super 6 racing is in there. There's a specific menu with all the details, the rules, that type of thing. Go along, get yourself familiar with it, because in round 2, if you didn't sign up for round 1, you can definitely get in on this for round 2.
Yeah, and round 2 is starting on 19th of November. So between now and the 19th of November, if you've not played a part in round 1, not a problem, because the way Super 6 was set up, the way it was set up to have 3 rounds where multi-divisions in each league. So you've got your A, B, C, D. We'll just call them A, B, C, D, Ds. Nice people understand that a little bit. And if you've got multiple divisions within each one of those leagues, in the UK, we have the Premiership, we have the Championships and all those sort of football leagues. And you get promoted and you get relegated if you finish in the top 3, bottom 3. So the idea was to have that sort of promotion relegation piece. And therefore, by the time you get to round 3, anybody in Division 1, or the leading division of the day, are going towards getting a chance towards the playoffs and the World Finals, which is at the end of round 3. what we've got now is good, strong one division. So therefore, we're not really doing promotion relegations. Everyone's in Division 1. You're going to get that chance now. Of course, we could explode. We could get another 20 teams. I don't really want 35 teams in one league because it's too many.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of people. And it's too many for the way that Zwift works, really, to have a good racing experience. But, we're not there. I don't have to deal with that just yet.
Yep.
But you never know. I want to be able to deal with it because we've set it up to deal with it. But, we're not quite there. But ultimately, round 2 starts. You're not disadvantaged by not having done round 1 because all the points are zeroized. As you would do in a relegation promotion season. As soon as that season finishes, which is at the end of round 5, you relegate, you promote, points back down to 0, and everyone starts again. Now what we have done for the teams that have supported us during round 1 is say, right, great, okay, look, you've earned yourself some round points, some round league points. So by participating in round 1, they've got 2 league points as a head start when they get to round 3, because round 3 is the important round, technically, as it stands currently, because that's the one that takes you to the World Finals and playoffs where we're looking to give some prizes. So we've told people a number of times, well before round 1 even started, that this was out there. Get your teams in there. People did. Some didn't. We know for sure that teams will want to turn up in round 3 and go, right, there's the prize side of things that's coming along. We want to get in on that action now. Well, if you do, and you haven't done in rounds 1 and 2, then what you're going to find is that you're 3 league points behind the teams that are in front of you. Now, 3 league points can be a lot of league points if someone takes a look at the leagues now to catch up. So you're going to have to work really hard to even catch that. But we're rewarding the teams like AHDR who've been there, WMZ, the coalition teams, the OTRs, the art teams, all of those sort of teams that have been there supporting and building and tweaking and honing this series through rounds 1 and 2 have got that little bit of a head start as a bit of a thank you to say, right, you're there. I still can't guarantee you'll get to the playoffs or to the World Finals, but you've got a 3-point head start to some team that's going to try and turn up with a bunch of showboaters.
And just
in January.
walk in and just sort of sweep it away.
That's what they think anyway. So,
Jay, I was going to say, Jay's in the chat. So he just wanted to say he's been in the Super 6. He's in the US East, and he's been loving it as a sprinter. He's competing against other sprinters because he gets killed by the climbers. And so he just wanted to say that. And that, he's the same. He wishes all more teams. And he's also confident that, more will come along. It just takes, as you say, a bit of time to get some traction. Now, we've got race 5 coming up, and we were chatting just before the show about this. Race 5 is going to be
around Richmond
race. Richmond.
Oh, okay. Then, well, Richmond is we've got 2 laps of that particular course there. So there's obviously a little bit of a bumpy far right-hand corner of that particular course. 2 laps, so it's a relatively simple course. Now, I did make the course a little bit simpler on this particular week on the basis that Britannia starts a day later. So just to be a little bit, because there's a lot of dual repeating sort of people out there, but so anyway. But going back to this course, you've mentioned the no hood word. I put on there as well. Look, even in source, there is no hood. You'll see nothing. And it's raising questions. It's raised questions when we tried it in some of the test events during the summer. People loved it. People love no hood. I think who've done it. There are a couple of people who go, "Oh, I like all my stats." But actually, I think it makes it quite interesting. And this isn't a scratch. This isn't just get to the finish line. So now you're going to need some communication. You're going to have to remember where these little segments are.
I know that's going to be the tough part. That's the tough part, isn't it? And the wild card as well. So, and just to clarify, as you said, so definitely no HUD in Zwift, but there's also, if you do run source, you're not going to get any information through source either. You will You will get some information through your companion app. So there is that, but that's it. That's all you're going to get.
Yeah, you through companion, you'll probably get a distance,
Just the
of where you
distance.
are, how far you've got. But that's otherwise you've really only got your eyes and the camera views. Actually, I'm not even sure. Actually, you probably can change your camera view. I'm not sure whether that's fixed. Some people do use the different camera view.
Okay.
Some people use a DS. I think you
Yep.
mentioned before the show whether a DS has a different view. Well, he may have your view, he may have a slightly different view, but he can only relate it through voice. He can't do anything else. So
No, exactly.
It'll certainly be interesting to see how
This
one's going to work. It could be completely bonkers.
is going to be. I'll tell you, it's going to be fantastic. It is exciting. I'm already looking forward to this race. I'm leaning into this one now. It's going to be awesome. I hope my back will be okay by then, and I'll be up to full speed again. But certainly the segments that are in this, the distance is going to be just outrageous.
Yeah, and Jehu talked about being a sprinter and being engaged and all those things. Well, sometimes it's difficult to put a course out there and think, okay, right, I want the sprinter to be the wild card this week, but you've also got to get past the hill. And sometimes you just can't get past the hill because the other guys can just punch up a bit faster. Well, this time you can, because obviously the wild card is on Broad Street. It's on the first lap. It's not on the second lap. So, and it's an interesting sprint, I think, the Broad one. It's a long sprint.
Yeah.
I've tried many times, a couple of times before. There's a nice little right-hand bend, going early, I always think, and I don't know whether it's just me, I do think at times you can almost get a little bit of a super spin out of going around a corner on Zwift. It's almost as if like it's sort of like a little word and flies you out if you can just spin up around it. Yep. Yeah, exactly, a bit of a slingshot. I don't know whether it does work or not, but or it's just me. But certainly going around that little kink at the bottom there, going really early. Although I never get there because then the sprinters just come whipping past me.
Yeah. But you're talking about this section of the course that's there, aren't you?
No. If you go back up to where Broad Street is, which is that red section, that's Broad Street. So you got that little kink just before it.
Yep. So this one just here.
Yeah, there. So I think just whipping around that corner and going probably 100 yards extra earlier.
Yep.
Can almost catch people out. I know sometimes when you do the monument sprint, which is at the other end, that tiny little hairpin bend, if you went early there, you can sometimes get away with that one. You won't get away with it on multiple laps, but maybe one of them. But yeah, I think the no HUD thing will be really interesting. It's definitely, I'd see a lot of people favouring their sprinter for the wild card on this one, and that's good because it spreads it out a little bit.
Yeah.
About who to choose as your wild card. The other thing to make it clear about wild cards is don't put it in your name. Don't identify yourself as a wild card.
That's the question I was asking. So yeah, so don't put the WC in your name and keep it from guessing. Yeah.
That's a really good point out there. I have added it to the rules in there, and I think just from the point of view of that, yes, identify if you're a GC or a climber or a sprinter and those sort of things. But wildcard, no, I'd say just keep it to yourself. Remain silent because you want to know whether you're a disruptor or from your team that if you can get any of your team and your wildcard in the top 10, you're taking up places that somebody else could actually be a wildcard and stopping them getting a point. Yeah. And when you look at the league tables for the teams, say if you looked in Europe, it's okay, that's how it can work. Yeah, you've got a team that's winning it, you've got probably a team that's second, and then if you look at third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, they're separated by about 3 or 4 points. So the wildcard point can be quite key at the end of the day, and keep it to yourself.
That is going to be fantastic. I'm just wondering, have you got I'm just looking at the schedule for Super 6 round 2. Have we got that listed
No.
there? We don't have that coming up yet?
Yeah, for round 2, yes, that's on the website. So if you look at schedule Super 6, that's all updated. So if you
There we go.
squeeze down, yes, so you've got your Shiza Shakedown coming in round 1. Now, at the moment, it's showing the 21st. Now, one of the things I've mentioned here is that we're going to expand the days. So we've said the 19th of November, so we're starting on a Wednesday as well. Now, if people want to race 2 days, they can increase their number of chances, but really we're starting on the 19th on a Wednesday. We've got the times for APAC again, 7:30 in AED for Sydney time, 7:30 in Calgary, 7:30 in New York, 6 o'clock in the UK, to try and bring it a little bit earlier for some of the later times in Europe. But again, they are separate leagues. They are separate leagues to the ones running on Friday. I'm not anticipating, he said laughingly, that the European teams that have done really well on Friday are all going to jump to Wednesday. So that's not what I really want to happen, to be fair. We're going on a Wednesday to give the teams that have said, can't make Friday, can't get teams Friday, doesn't work for me Friday. So we're trying to make Wednesday work for more teams, I think, on that front.
So can you just clarify then so the Wednesday and Friday, if you've got a team that's racing on Wednesday, are you saying that same team can race on Friday?
Yep. They can.
And so is it the fastest score, the most points? What takes precedence?
They're two separate leagues. Effectively, you'll have a Wednesday APAC.
Oh, of course, yeah, okay.
Beta League. You'll have a Friday Beta. Yeah, so yeah, they are two separate leagues now.
Yeah.
The whole point really is to try and see whether we can get more people in the US and APAC racing on those days,
on the Wednesdays.
And Europe might go, well, actually, I might get another 10 teams coming in and go, okay, we can do Wednesday over Friday. And I don't know. But the registration, people can register the teams now. The only change with registration is that you have to be an existing team manager to do it. Now, we did allow anyone to register before going into race 1. That caused us problems because people put teams in, didn't quite connect that they had to go and get their riders. So we need a bit of ownership from clubs to go, look, if I am going to do it, then I've got some backing behind me to go and do it. And there's some big clubs out there that couldn't turn up on Fridays. I'll call out TFC. TFC got a great racing series, but they couldn't do Fridays. So I'd love to see whether they could actually get anything on a Wednesday. And those sort of things. So there are lots of good clubs out there that are not racing on Friday. So we see them every week. They're going to turn up. Exactly. So and we know from the feedback from what we've had from everybody in 6 is, yes, they love the racing. Friday, we're making it work, but really, we've had lots of discussion whether it should be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or maybe we should try and invent the 8th day of the week. Exactly.
Well, when you figure that out, let me know how that works.
Exactly.
I've got a quick question from Vincent. So Vincent says that they didn't join round 1 because they've got their Monuments races on Friday, so already an established racing series. He goes, but round 2, when that starts again, are all the teams on the same level?
Round 2, yes, they all start on 0. So at the end of the day, the important part of being to join round 2 is that you're going to get some credit for starting round 3. You're also going to, one of the things that I can't underestimate, I think, so far, and you've seen it, is understanding how to race 6. We've got scratch races. Okay, I know how to race scratch races. How does wildcard work? How does the combined ITT work? How do these points races work where I've got roles playing? How does all of this sort of strategic, how do I pick my team? Go and learn how to do it. And come and join in there. So you're going to learn that in and be prepared for round 3. One thing we haven't announced, we've said, and I've said a number of times that between Octaine and ourselves, that we want to give prizes in real life for the winners and for people getting to the world finals at the end of March. So there's some real life prizes going up for this sort of stuff, for actually getting to those things.
Physical prizes.
Physical product. Okay, we
Yeah.
sign up for our subscriptions, get a hat.
Yep.
Get a cap. Now I'll touch on that. I'll talk about that now. So we've
Yep.
just started now that first gathering, all of that. So that's now in the first process. So the people who've signed up so far and have put through their orders, they're now in the mill to get produced. We're getting emails out soon to say, right, they're on their way. So those will be arriving, and what I'd love to see once they do start arriving is a little picture of you wearing it, really, I think, or something that says, I've got it.
Yep.
Send this on Facebook, do something on that front, and just say, well, it's there. Because, you spent £10 to join our subscription service, and you've got a £25 hat.
Yeah.
And the postage was free. So
that's
how much more value do you get?
Exactly.
Even if you don't wear a hat by
it. The great thing I do like about those hats, though, is that they actually look good too. Like, they're not gaudy, really, brand specific.
They're not cheap. They are good quality hats at the end of the day. So and that's really going to be the standard that the Octaine wants to set in everything it does. The quality of the imagery that Danny and his team produces is we've got unbelievable professionalism in everything they want to bring to us. And I'm not saying that I'm not professional. I might have my moments, but
very professional.
Okay. I am very professional, but yeah, the stuff that they're doing is, they're very much in their infancy of bringing all this stuff out of there. So it will not disappoint. I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep hammering that out there, because there's some real value. Yep. People go, do I want to spend £10? Well, and I don't really want a hat. All right. Well, in that case, I won't necessarily appeal to you just yet, but we'll see. We'll see over time, and there'll be other things coming on. But
so just on that, then,
anyway,
so the racing rewards. Let's just touch on that again, because I think this is just a real game changer when it comes to especially virtual indoor racing. I think this is a fantastic thing that you're trying to get off the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Our race rewards, again, £10 for subscription. Now, every race that you complete under an FRR banner, or even if you've got a, we'll just talk FRR banner. Every race you complete will earn you points. So people will go into their, people who've been with us for 4 or 5 years can go into their race rewards inside of their profiles, and they'll see the number of events that they've ever completed across all the tours. We've converted those to points. And those points will ultimately buy discount vouchers against vendors who have signed up to offer us discount vouchers against their products. So there we go. Nathan, you did, you got 5,500 points there, and I've got a few more. You can see that you did Triquetra, you earned 5,000 against them. You did a bit on Britannia, and I haven't credited people for 6 just yet, because we haven't got to the end of round 1. But 6 will go onto your thing there. So that will keep building. Basically, what you're also seeing is that once you get to, I think, every 25 events, you'll go up a loyalty level, and loyalty levels ultimately act as a multiplier against your points. So your loyalty levels here instantly double up, and those are the discount vouchers that you could get. Okay, you're in against the shop at this point in time. I think also if you chose the level shop, there'd be a different set of how many points I need for the level shop. And we're about to sign up, or it's being built as I speak, the Verge Sports one, who then have got a much wider product range for people to use their stuff against. So now you can't buy it at this moment in time on the basis it doesn't. Well, you don't have enough, so you need a few more points. You need to finish Britannia, and then suddenly you'll be there. Yeah, exactly. So So I think from that perspective, there's a as you say, the more people who can sign up with us, the more we can do.
The more relationships you can have with vendors. And the more varying products and services that you can offer.
And it's £10 per year. Yeah. So it's it's not a huge amount of money, and the
cheap as chips.
the free the free cap offer at the end of the day, again, it just comes down to, do I want a cap or not?
Yeah.
I tend to think most people will want something for free. That even includes postage, wherever you happen to live. So yeah, it's definitely worth a consideration. I'm not going to force it on people. It's not mandatory to race. That you've got to sign up to our subscription. We'll still get, we still want people in the races. Yep. So it's your choice. Yep. We just make it as accessible as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm on board.
But right. Cool. We probably just need to close out, but there's one little thing we've got to go through.
I was going to say, there's one last thing, isn't there?
What was that? I can't quite remember really what it was.
Want to just tickle that a little bit?
Triquetra.
This is going to be fantastic.
Triquetra
still gives me nightmares.
Well, out of all the events, looking at your thing, you actually did it. So you were there, and in our first ever Grand, and that was the first ever Zwift Grand Tour that anyone had put on. I don't care what anybody says, because it was 21 stages, it was 2 rest days,
23 days,
and it was just short of 1,000 kilometers over those 3 weeks, and about 11,000 meters climbing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
So that was the first
fantastic. I mean, brutal.
It was brutal, but we had Ventop, we had the Alp, we had all of those sort of things that we want to go up and down. And ever since we've done one, people have gone, when's it coming back? When can I do it? Oh, I missed it. I wanted to do it. And we've held off. Yeah. But this year, as we've now put up out on the schedule there, so I think if you went to our schedule, actually, Nathan, just popped our schedule up on screen just for a quick second. We've announced the dates. We put the dates out there. A few people are quite enjoying the fact that it says 1 meter and 1 kilometer for all of the stages, which is a little bit probably need to just expand the search a bit. But
so over we go. Page 2,
maybe even page 3 actually. I'm on the website.
There we go.
Right, there we go. Look. That gives you an idea of anyway. So there's the first 18 of them. So I wouldn't take too much of attention whether it's Flat, Holding, Mountain, all those, because I haven't really filled those in just yet. But when the date is. It's going to kick off on April the 25th, on Saturday, April the 25th. And we know where we're going to finish.
Yep.
Now, it's going to, there'll only be just 2 rest days in there. Now, the tour has been announced. It was announced 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago. So we know what the tour's going to do.
Yep.
And I think what we're going to do with Triquetra this year, we're going to do a third of it. We're going to do a third of the tour, which is more than we did last time.
Yep.
So I think the tour is about 3,600 kilometers. 3,700 kilometers, something like that. It's just short. It's in between 6 and 7. So we're going to do about 1,200 kilometers in this 3-week tour. So we're going to do 20% more. We're going to, I will tend to do the longer stages at weekends because that's, in my opinion, we've got more time on a weekend to do stuff. So it's going to test us. The other little doozy that this particular tour has got for certainly Tour de France stages, it does Alpe d'Huez twice. And it does Alpe d'Huez twice back to back. Now whether I can do that given the time constraints and where they've actually positioned it, I'm not so sure. But certainly the events, the stages are going to follow a similar sort of pattern of what we're seeing in the tour itself.
That's going to be fantastic. So hang on, can I just clarify those? So we're going to be doing the possibility we're going to be doing Alpe d'Huez or Alpe de Zwift back to back in the same race.
It'll as in stage 19 could be that, and stage 20 will be the Alpe.
Oh, okay. So it's not going to be in the same event.
Not saying no. I'm
Thank God.
no. I'm not going to do like a doubles. The only way I could do that, and thanks for putting that in my mind, is Quatch Quest. You're allowed to do that one as on a lap basis.
Okay.
Yeah, so I could consider that if that's what you were suggesting, Nathan.
I'm not suggesting that at all.
Okay.
No,
All right.
but I wouldn't say no if you did it.
A lot of people just do it because they go, "I've never done that before."
Yeah.
That's
it.
Exactly. That's where they go with
Yeah.
it. Now, maybe a lot of people have tuned in here or watch it later. Go, "Oh, I thought I was going to get all the courses." Well, that would be nice. That would be nice to give you all the courses now, wouldn't it? But I've got another way to do it.
That's far too easy.
It's far too easy, isn't it? Yeah. So, my way to release the courses will be over December.
Okay.
And one of the things that we certainly have, I suppose, in the Christian world, I suppose I'm not particularly religious. I'm sorry, but equally, I do have my Advent calendar. That will give me my piece of chocolate every day.
Yes.
So from December the 1st, we'll reveal one course, one route, one event, one stage every day up until Christmas. So we'll put that on our website, and you can open the door, and we'll see what's behind it.
Do we get a piece
of chocolate? You won't get the chocolate though.
No.
You could have a piece of chocolate locally. How about that?
Oh, I'll do that.
Yeah. So we'll release that. We'll do that on the website. We'll do that on Facebook. We'll do that on Discord. So we'll hit all of those, and we'll just go right. And stage 6 will be you'll open the door. Actually, you won't even know what stage you're going to get until you open it up. So
perfect. Okay.
Yes.
So it could be random as well then.
Oh yeah, it won't start with stage 1.
Oh, awesome.
So I might give you stage 12 or something first. Or if I'm really cruel, the first day I give you this day it's the rest day. But
give us all the easy ones first.
But yeah, so that will be, obviously you'll get the course, you'll get the distance and the elevation, and we'll see what we can entice you with there.
Yep. So for those that are listening, go along to www.flammerougeracing.com, and that information will be on the website along with all the other tour schedules and dates and events and the stages that we've just been talking about. So that's the spot to go and jump into. And as I said, if you've got any questions about Super 6 racing, about round 2 that's coming up, which is going to be starting in a couple of weeks' time, that's the spot to go and ask your questions in Discord. The link is in the description below. Yeah.
Get registering team. Just come to me with any questions if you've got any concerns, how does it work? But the biggest thing I can say to clubs and teams is, we've had lots of discussion about putting it on a Wednesday and increasing rather than shifting everything across.
Yep.
Not shifting everything across. We're actually giving you another option to come and do it.
Adding more to it.
We're expanding to it. And we're making Series 1, which is this, and all the way to the end of March, work. Series 2 will work probably slightly differently, but this one, right, the proof in the pudding now will be get your teams registered. You can register them now, but you will need to be a team manager to do that. If you want to become a team manager, email Race Control, contact me on Discord, and we can get that set up within minutes of me finding the message.
It's super easy. Yep. And then once you are in there, you get to specify your teams and what roles they're going to play each race. And it is really a fantastic way of doing it. So
we'll give you as much support as you possibly need and more, to the point of actually being some sort of personal friend on your shoulder.
And that's the wonderful thing about it as well. Like you have been you go out of your way to try and accommodate the questions, the suggestions, any of the feedback that you're getting. You try to accommodate as much of that as you can as possible into the series.
But you have to. You have to. I'm all in to produce a really good, engaging racing experience.
Yeah.
And I don't proclaim to know everything about what everybody wants to be able to do, but I will try and listen and go, actually, that didn't quite work, or actually, this is why I'm doing it like this.
Yeah.
and try and sort of argue the case of, well, this is why it's like this, not just because I'm pig-headed or I don't want to change something.
Or a control freak. No, not at all.
Or a maybe. Oh, I know. You've been talking to my wife again, haven't you? But yeah. So it's So look, we're here to try and make an engaging racing experience,
for sure.
And and it's going well. So, but as I'll say to things can always be better.
Can always improve. That's for sure.
Exactly.
But it's certainly kicked off on a great start. So there is that for sure.
It is.
All right, Mr. Race Control. I think we've covered off on the things we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I think so. We'll need to have a chat whether how we do things for a December one. If we're going to do December one out there, it'd be interesting because we'll possibly, I think we'll be partway releasing some Triquetra stages by the sounds of it.
So get some feedback on what the courses are like.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe release a big one just before the show. But good. Okay. No, it's great, Nathan. It's thanks for all of your time and effort, by the way, in putting things together. All of your sneak peeks and your recons of what you do out there, because without people like what you do as well, we don't get to reach as many people. We don't get all that great content. Everyone who contributes in, whether they are just feeding back or, doing their live streams and all those things, it all helps.
The live streams
community's there to help each other. Everyone's there to help each other. I will shout out to as well, to ZMS, who did a great, first racing production with yourself on the mic, and Professor Emma Martin. And,
yes, Professor, you got that correct.
Professor, I have, yeah. So, it was a great show, great racing, and really well attended. So, it was just great in everything we produced on that point. And we're just going to do more of it.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Rich, we'll end on that note. As I said, get along to the Discord channel. All the information, both on what we've talked about and also upcoming events, are there. So as I said, if you've got any questions, that's the spot to go and ask it. If you want to check out the rule books for the tours, the series, for Fearless, don't forget about their 9th annual Women's Team Racing Championships are coming up. If you want to get in on that, that's the place to go and sign up for it. But in the meantime, we will catch you in episode 4, which will hopefully be, as Rich said, in December. But stay tuned, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the notifications for that next episode. And we will see you, in December.
Exactly. And last thing, race passes for Britannia will be out. I might put them out Tuesday, but definitely Wednesday. So watch Discord, and if I release them early, then get in. All right, guys. Thanks for it.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.